first thing that comes up, and see, I said this at a meeting and nobody believed me, but the first thing that comes up, male exotic stripper. Let's see. Nubian Prince, a novel about a male exotic stripper. An ambiguously gay patron of the black arts is a flaming Nubian prince. It does say flaming Nubian prince. Now, I think it's important to note that his wife is the one who gave him that name. And so I think she knows something that we don't. And we're going to just leave it there for now. So you've heard about the Nubian Prince. If you want to know more, Google it. Trust me, there are pages and pages. And be glad I didn't use the image search. Yeah, so you got that. Okay, well, it's important to remember that he is our president, so let's be a little bit nice to him. Why? Well, no good reason except it stretches out the program a little bit longer and it makes the funny stuff seem funnier if I say something about him nice first before I actually assassinate his character. So let's talk about Len, young Len, and all the things we don't know about him. For example, we didn't know that Len was a basketball star. And so here you see him in junior high school, holding on to a trophy. He's the guy second from the left. That's young Len Strickland on the basketball court. Not just basketball, football. Check it out. Look at that. Stud lead. Yeah. They let him have the ball. They let him have the ball more than once. See, there's a picture of him with the ball. So you know he was not just a basketball star. He was a football star. Look at him, handsome, clean cut. This is a guy that looks like he could be the next mayor of Sacramento, don't you think? Yeah, I thought so too. Well, that was not to be, because, well, let's just face it, this cat Shaft is a bad man. That's right. Who is the man who would risk his neck for another man? Shaft. Right on, brother, right on. Okay. Well, that concludes what is actually the complimentary portion of this. And so, what I'd like to do is take a step back and talk to you about the process that brought me here today. Because, believe me, I was not the first choice as MC for this little presentation. We had a lot of people that would have come first before me. And let's just talk about them. We had Luann. But really, must she do everything around here? Can we please give it up for Luann, who brought this all together? Of course, we could ask Patty, but if we asked Patty to do it, she'd have to do everything like she does, which is standing from the back of the room because she's so damn busy at all the meetings she can't even take time to sit down. So, not Patty. Next up, we thought, well, let's get Chris Bradford. You know what? We need somebody who's going to assassinate character, and Bradford's just too darn honest to do that. And besides, we needed somebody who would hold the pool money for how long Len's going to talk when he has his speech. So Bradford was out for that. Next, we thought, well, how about Tim Carnahan? Experienced. He's got that going for him. He's experienced. But, you know, we run into the same danger we have with Len, of a series of ever-widening digressions. And so I'm sorry, Mr. Carnahan, we had to pass you by as well. But of course, there was Cahill. She was just a little too eager. That's a danger sign. So we passed that by right away. And we were really scraping the barrel, so we actually thought, who else could we get to be an MC? We asked Ike, and you know what Ike said. I can add a few words. And so, as a result, you were stuck with me. You were stuck with me as MC. That's right, me. The Ricky Gervais of Rotary. Now, you might wonder who Ricky Gervais is, Mr. Marshall. That's a lot like Don Rickles in modern times. So, okay. And this is probably a good time to mention, no, it's not a pistol in my pocket. And yes, I'm really happy to see you. Oh, yes, I wanted to say that. Of course, not everybody is happy.
I'd rather have any children than live.
We were all oxygen starved for a little while, that's what turns out. But not everybody was happy to know that I was going to be the MC. This is sort of the general reaction that people had. Yeah, those people who know me me best, no, but then there are the people who really appreciate my humor and are amused by it, and those people get a big shout out. So, the people with taste, yes. So, as you recall, we started the year for Len on a really theatrical note. We put together a little skit. Wasn't my idea, but I agreed to participate, and I think you're going to see a little bit more about it later, but it started off with what we thought was a really great Igor, followed by, I'm going to leave this up a little longer, guys, the nurse. And by the way, I do have photos for those guys who want them. I can make you blow-ups of this particular one. And I actually did a couple of things with Photoshop, which you might find interesting. And of course, now I played a very small role in this myself. And the other point of this is I wanted to say I did use Photoshop, so check it out. This is what you can do with Photoshop. That actually said Don Phipps or something. So Dr. J, Igor, and Nurse Donna brought in the heart for our Club of Hearts president. There he is, Mr. Len Strickland with his new heart. That's right. Let's remember, this man had a heart transplant. We're lucky to have you here. God bless you. We're so happy you're here. And you know, the transplant did such a good job. Right after the surgery, he was a new man. Yes, sir, really good. They can do a lot of things with medicine these days. They sure as heck can. Now, unfortunately, he went and had his first meeting. Now, if any of you have sat through a meeting with Len, you know there was a speech. Kind of a long speech. So, of course, by the end of it, he had aged quite a bit. And here we are. And as you recall, we started every meeting with what became known as a non-eponymous. A non-eponymous is, if I've got it correctly, a person who is anonymous, but whose name became eponymous. And for those of you who don't know and weren't paying attention in the umpteen meetings it was explained, eponymous means that your name then becomes known for something else. So, for example, if you are the Earl of Sandwich, you then become known for the sandwich. And so I'm going to go through these real quickly, because we had a lot, and I know that you all really wanted to learn your words and expand your vocabulary. We had sandwich, algorithm, leotard. Interesting to know who guessed these correctly, too. Leotard guessed by Randy Carlson. Mesmerize, hooligans by Peter Anderson, Pilates, chauvinist, yours truly. This would be a good time to point out that I also did tally them up, and President Len, I did have the most correct answers, even though you disqualified me several times. So we had a lot of great answers. We had guillotine, maverick, nicotine, that was Heine, shrapnel, Steve Herringer, graham cracker, Danny. No connection there to food, right? No, not at all. Okay. Grog, me again. Jack Russell Terrier was Wayne. And then we had a word that everybody got. Everybody got it. Do you know what it was? Pompadour! That's right, Pompadour! Pompadour. Len, would you like to stand up and sport your Pompadour for us? Maybe some other time. I told you, character assassination. All right, so, you know, being a Rotary president means that you have to have a big ego. Let's face it. Isn't that true? You have to have a big ego. Former presidents, right. So, thank you very much. So we asked around, exactly how big is Len's ego? Is it this big? Is it that big? Could it possibly be that big? Don't tell me it's that big. By the way, side note, you know, I really didn't think the tablecloth shirt thing was going to catch on when I first pointed it out. But my goodness, we have seen our share. I think we had first Drew Gidloff with the tablecloth shirt, so he gets first in that. Then I think Chris Palmedesi, and now our incoming president. And I understand he's even ordered the napkins to go with it. So, well, it wasn't that big. It turns out his ego was that big. Wait a minute. You know what?
That's a great.
I'm sorry. It's not his ego that's that big. Wow. So the rumors are true. Way to go, Mrs. Strickland. Oh, come on. Now, that's all in your mind, because let's face it, I didn't say anything bad now, did I? But of course, not everybody appreciates my humor. But they do know where his inspiration for his speeches come from. Either that, or it's how his ego got so inflated. I couldn't decide which, but I thought both were funny things to say about that particular thing. So, because he does tend to go on just a little bit, he's gotten kind of a reputation. Sorry, it's true. The hot air, the long run. So, as a result, we have found things to do during his speeches, and they include checking our messages, occasionally looking at Danny's porn, really, Danny? Whiff? I have no idea what that means. But of course, some of us just simply can't stay awake. And then you have the brown nosers. Oh, that's not the brown noser. That's the brown noser. That's right. Look at that guy. He just can't wait. He's looking for a Len buck from Len. Well, some of us know that the speeches are going to be long, and so we come on our Traveler's Companion. Anybody know what a Traveler's Companion is? I'm not going to tell you. Go home and look it up. But that's why he's smiling. He's got his Traveler's Companion on. Alright, so you just got to wait for it. Well, shame on me. I have been assassinating his character all night long. We all know that Len is really quite the party animal. Quite the party animal. Can I do this? Such a party animal. That's right. Woo-hoo! What kind of hookah is that? Okay, you think that's fun. What the heck is he doing here? You know, I don't think I want to know. Another little known fact about our President Len, he had a career as an actor. Quite the Hollywood career. Now, it didn't start out that great. There was, of course, the ill-fated audition for Sesame Street as Pumpkin Dude. Somehow that character just didn't catch on. It's funny you should ask about the briefcase, because a lot of things happened on Sesame Street. Some of it was a little bit below the law, you know what I mean? I'd say the goody man is here. Well, so there was that role that didn't catch on, but then there was the very famous role that you all remember him from, I Spy the Guy in the Shorts. You know, it's sad to say, guys, there's a picture of all of us like that out there somewhere. And so this Len is yours. There was a much more flattering one, but I wasn't going to use that, now was I? No siree. So, you got to ask yourself, is this a guy who really has an acting career? Of course, he had a long acting career. In fact, just recently, he was featured in a commercial for really Old Spice. Thank you very much. Well, I'm sure I'm going to pay for this. I know I'm going to pay for this. All year long we've all been paying for it. Nobody's paid more than Wayne. Wayne is his business partner. He's tried to put up with this stuff for a long time, and so Wayne has had to pay. Heck, we've all had to pay. Everybody's chipped in everything they could think of. Even the president has recognized that this has been a difficult year for all of us. And so, we looked around for a replacement. Somebody we could get. Somebody who we could pass the torch to. Somebody who, please, God, would breathe a little fresh air into this club. Yeah, it's not him. It's him. Man, a few words. There he is. That's right. And as you can see, there's President Len passing the torch, or whatever the heck that is. Leftover chicken that is the badge of honor that goes with the presidency. Now, you see, presidency is an important job. It's not like being sergeant at arms, by the way. Sergeant at arms is where the real power is. And I've enjoyed being your sergeant at arms this past year, and I've enjoyed having the opportunity to break in a new guy, and so he's been waxing my car, he's been mowing my lawn. This is our next president, and believe me, he's going to be ready when the time comes. So when the time comes, we know that President Len can go back to his lifelong dream, the one that he's suited for, and where we all started, go back to being the Nubian Prince.